Their love story is so incredible that it may seem like fiction. A simple American soldier actually stole a princess and then married her with her consent. Her uncle Hamad, the king of Bahrain, was furious, but all the monarch's efforts proved insignificant against the tenacity of true love. How did the lovers overcome all the obstacles? How did this fantastic story unfold and how did it end? Watch the video to the end to find out. Let's get started. Miriam Al-Khalifa is a true Oriental princess. She is one of the 5 daughters of Sheikh Abdullah, brother of the ruler of Bahrain. In 1998, the girl turned 18, and the banal fate of a Middle Eastern sheikha awaited her. Receive a traditional Islamic education, marry an aristocrat chosen by her father, give birth and raise children. As Miriam herself later said, she did not dare to object to such a development. But deep in her heart, she hoped that true love would come into her life and break these miserable norms. When the princess celebrated her 18th birthday, she had no idea that destiny had already prepared phenomenal events and trials for her. At about the same time, a military transport plane took off from Camp Pendleton Air Force Base in California. One of its passengers was an ordinary American guy named Jason Johnson. He was 28 years old at the time. The Marine Lance Corporal was being sent to Bahrain to serve on a U.S. military base. Service in the quiet capital of Manama was boring, and there was no danger to the Americans here. Jason spent most of his time at the Jafar military base, with occasional visits to the city. On one such visit, the corporal went to a supermarket to buy food. When he saw a girl shopping, Jason's heart raced. According to him, he immediately realized that the girl in front of him was the one meant for him. The beautiful stranger was Princess Miriam. When she caught the eyes of the tall, red-haired man, so different from the local men, the sheikha didn't look away. At that moment, a spark flew between them that later ignited a fire that almost led to a political conflict. The young people met and began to date in secret. Miriam didn't tell anyone about Jason, not even her sisters, not to mention her strict father. The explanation is simple. There was a social gulf between the representative of a royal dynasty and the son of a common Chicago truck driver. Moreover, Miriam was a Sunni Muslim, while Jason was a Christian and a Mormon. To keep the secret, the lovers were forced to have infrequent but hot dates. But their secret was discovered. One of the princess's bodyguards tracked the lovers down and reported Miriam's fall to her mother. A scandal erupted in the family. Her father strictly forbade his daughter to continue her relationship with a common soldier and even a Christian. But the girl's love was stronger. She found a way to communicate with Jason. Moreover, the relationship became even more romantic. The lovers exchanged emotional messages and phone calls, and Miriam had to speak on the phone in a whisper. When the Marine's 1-year contract came to an end, it was clear that a decision had to be made. So the princess took the risk of opening up to her parents. She honestly told her father about her love and that she couldn't live without her chosen one. The sheikha asked her to make an exception to the royal family's rules and allow her to officially marry an American. This openness was a mistake. Miriam's father was furious. He simply could not allow such a disgrace to the family. Instead of approving the marriage, he placed his daughter under house arrest. She was forbidden to leave the palace without her parents' permission until Jason would be leaving Bahrain. To be on the safe side, guards watched her every move. The sheikh underestimated the power of love and the ingenuity of the U.S. Marines. Corporal Johnson made a curious observation. In the boarding area of the Manama airport, only civilians were checked for documents. U.S. military personnel were usually allowed to board the plane without any inspection. Jason decided to take advantage of this feature and arrange for the princess to leave the country. His friends helped him get a set of U.S. Marine uniforms and make some sort of fake ID. It wouldn't pass a serious background check, but it was better than nothing. On the day Jason was to leave Bahrain, a luxury limousine pulled up to the Al Khalifa family palace. Miriam told her mother that she'd rented it for a shopping trip and had been given permission to go into town. Right in the car, Miriam changed into a U.S. military uniform, hiding her long hair under a military cap. As a result, not one, but two Marines approached the gangway of the military plane departing for Chicago. One was red-headed and tall, and the other was small in stature, but with aristocratic manners. It's unbelievable, but the daring plan succeeded. The escape was discovered by Sheikh Abdullah's security service when the plane was already over the Atlantic. His brother, Bahrain's ruler Hamad, immediately called the U.S. State Department and demanded that the plane be turned around. He threatened a high-profile diplomatic scandal and even the closure of the U.S. military base in Bahrain. But U.S. authorities refused, citing technical reasons. Immediately after landing, Miriam applied for political asylum in the United States. She claimed that she could be killed in Bahrain for dishonoring the royal family. Even with the threat of political conflict, the U.S. authorities didn't turn her away. They granted Miriam refugee status, but Jason was severely punished. The corporal was court-martialed, demoted, and dismissed from the army. Nevertheless, the couple was happy. The lovers attracted the attention of the press. They were featured in glossy magazines and even invited to appear on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Miriam and Jason's popularity peaked in 2001. The film company Columbia TriStar paid the couple $500,000 for the right to film their story. In February of that year, The Princess and the Marine hit the screens. Interestingly, the lovers in the movie are presented under their real names, which added serious realism to the story. In Las Vegas, where the heroes settled after a high-profile wedding, they were recognized on the streets and cheered. Unfortunately, every fairy tale must come to an end. Their married life was not what they had imagined. Miriam was more interested in partying in Las Vegas than enjoying life with her husband. The money received for the film version of their story quickly ran out, and the family found themselves on the verge of poverty. Jason had to take a job as a valet parking cars for rich nightclub patrons. Meanwhile, the princess's father told his daughter that he forgave her and didn't condemn her for her impertinent act. And in mid-2001, the wheel of fate turned in the opposite direction. Miriam returned to Bahrain, and 3 years later, she officially divorced Jason. Then, as befits a caring father, Sheikh Abdullah married his daughter to a respected man, one of the country's top diplomatic officials. But what happened to Miriam, and what was Jason's fate? According to media reports, Jason spent the rest of his money on college tuition. He stayed to live in Las Vegas, and for a long time he could not come to his senses. Later he met a charming girl who was the absolute opposite of Miriam. And in 2011, the couple had a magnificent wedding, swearing eternal love and fidelity. Miriam's fate was more mysterious. It seemed that her life became a secret of the Al Khalifa family. However, a few years ago, in the British press suddenly appeared in the photo of a gala reception organized by the ambassador of Bahrain with a typical surname Al Khalifa and his beautiful wife Miriam. Outwardly, the fugitive princess was almost completely unchanged and seemed to be completely satisfied with her current situation. This crazy love story of a simple soldier and a princess ended without a traditional happy ending. But Jason and Miriam are unlikely to regret it. During their relationship, the young people lived a life that novels are written and movies are made about. After all, they were ruled by true love. What do you think about this couple? Share in the comments. Subscribe to our channel and put a like if you enjoyed the video. See you soon.